BMW are coming out with an R12s. Watch this video. Hello, welcome to RevelatorAlf. I hope you're all well. So BMW recently said that they're going to be releasing this limited edition, this limited special bike, this BMW R12s. Now, this is basically a tribute to the bikes of the 1970s, the R90s. This is something that I think is the flavor of the month right now. That a lot of the manufacturers are coming out with these kind of retro bikes. It's a big thing. It's a big movement. You know, the modern tech is still there or still on these bikes, but the look of them is a throwback. And I think it's a throwback to also an older generation who just wants something that just remind them of the fun of motorcycling back in the day. I also think that it attracts a newer kind of rider, especially for the smaller CC bikes, who just want something simple just to get on and have fun. So this is why the retro bikes, for me, in terms of style, in terms of practicality and usability and just overall fun, just hit the right note. So it's becoming very popular. BMW, again, have jumped on this as well with this R12s. And it looks like a great bike. And look, we can go into all the specs, and it's a nice bike. But the R12 is a nice bike as it is. Now, the R1290 was released a couple of years ago, wasn't it? So if you want all the specs on this bike, it's essentially the same bike. It's mostly styling changes on this bike as well. And there's a few tweaks here and there, of course. But this video is more about the styling and more about this retro pull on bikes rather than the substance of the bike. But this is one thing I want to address. If we're talking about retro bikes and if we're talking about bikes that deliver on so many different levels, then one of the big things that's really got to deliver on is price. Here's the problem. So whilst the engine is still 1170 cc's, whilst it still delivers 108 horsepower, whilst it's still essentially an R1290, it's the same bike, right? It's just styling differences and a few tweaks here and there. The standard R1290 is just over £14,000, whereas this BMW R12s, it comes in at well over £18,000, £18,460 to be exact. Now, this is going to be released next year, 2025, February, March time. So you'll be able to put in your pre-orders now, I'm sure, go down to your local BMW dealership and have your fun with it. But it's still £18,500 on the nose for this bike, when you could just get an R1290 for what, 14, 15, 16,000. So £2,500 less. Now we're talking about the styling here. So yes, I get it. It's a lovely looking bike and it is a real throwback and it is just looks absolutely great. But we're still talking expensive bikes. So one card of this hand is actually a blinder. You're bringing in these retro bikes to tick all these boxes in terms of fun, usability, curb appeal, and it's going to appeal to so many different people. But the other card in this hand is a real dodo because it fails on price. Now, you could argue, you could say to me, but look, this is what these bikes cost. And I get it. I absolutely get it. But one does not match the other. Now, if this was a £14,000, £15,000 bike, maybe even up to a £16,000 bike, I would say, okay, I get it, because there are other bikes that are around that price point, and this is basically they've just taken that bike, a few style changes, they might have added £500 here or whatever it is, £1,000, and I can see. But they've kind of failed on the price here. Now, I've got to say, it does look pretty smart. I do like the look of it. And it comes in with a bit of extra tech on there as well. It's got a comfort package on it. It's got a hill start assist. It's got a quick shifter on there too. Heated grips, cruise control, you name it, it's got it. And it's got a whole plethora of accessories as well. But I can't get over this price point on this bike. It's a great looking bike and it's going to appeal to a lot of people. I don't think this is going to sell in numbers. I don't think it's even going to appeal to a lot of people in numbers. But I tell you what it won't appeal on is price. If they'd price this at 16, 15, 16, I would say maybe they got a bike here. At 18 and a half or whatever it is, I'm not so sure. I'm a big fan of this kind of resurgence or this new wave of retro bikes and really cool retro bikes at lots of different CC levels. Big fan of it. keep on doing it. Keep on bringing these bikes in. And yes, I fully understand that a high performance bike or a bike over 1,000 cc's, it's going to increase on price, and with all the tech on it, I get it. But we are talking about economies of scale here. We are talking about a bike that is essentially a bike that you already produce. It's not as if this is a brand new bike and brand new tech. This is already a bike you produce. This is kind of bolt-on stuff. So if it's just styling changes you've made, I really don't see how we can validate this price disparity. And I think ultimately that's going to be the big problem for this bike. It's not the bike itself. It's not the styling. It's not this kind of anti-retro feel that some people may have. It's going to be the price. And it's like a lot of other manufacturers that are selling big, expensive bikes. Customers like me, or potential customers like me, will say, I really love the bike. I'm just not prepared to pay that money for it. That's it. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you like what I do here, well, just keep on watching the videos, and I'll catch you again. Bye now.